Hi and welcome. I'm John and this is Unique All-Game Terrain. Guys, welcome back. For everyone that's new, this is the Monday painting video. What's the Monday painting video? What's it all about? Well, the Monday painting video, I take a model voted on by you guys from last week's Weekly Wednesday, which is a Q&A. You guys vote on models and whichever wins the vote gets painted up on Monday's painting video. In the event of a tie, I do a dice roll. And that's the gist of it. Today's what won the vote this week is a Zoanthropes. There's anything I'm not sure about. Look at that. See the patchiness of the spray? That's greasy. I don't know what the hell happened there, why it done that. But hopefully it doesn't affect the paint that goes on top. Anyway, so for all my regulars here, guys, I feel love. Thank you very much. I'll see you in a minute. Right, first off the bat, I apologise if you can hear the lawnmower in the background. The neighbour decided it's going to be a good time to do the lawn. So yeah, great idea, right? We're trying to film here. Well, I'm trying to film here. Great idea. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start with, anyone that's seen my 2 new painting videos know that I use contrast colour on these, contrast paint on these guys. That's why they're grey-seared. First one I'm going to start with is Tyranids blue, and this is all for all of the armour panels. Don't panic, I'm not going to sit and paint every single millimetre of these guys. I'm just going to just do a little bit here and there just to give you a general idea of what I'm doing. All of these pieces, all these little tubular things on his back. I'm going to go off camera and do all of those, do that colour on all 3 models. Now I'm going to come with some fine magenta contrast paint. One thing I do like with these nids, where certain, I mean it's practically dry, but there's a few wet patches, but let's say it was wet as I was adding the magenta into it, and the blue and the red mixed just as they join. That's not an issue, because it will just, because it's organic life form, it will just give me a nice mixture of colour. Again, I'm not going to do the whole thing on camera, I'm just going to do a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. I'm not going to get his bones on his ribs or anything, just all the other fleshy parts of his body, apart from his little hands, they're going to be different colour. As you can, no, I should leave them. I am going to come in and get his face, but not his brain. So all that bit under there, I'm going to get his little bit of chin there. I love this colour, it's such a brilliant colour. It's got a little bit of fleshy bit there as well. So I'm just going to get that. This is like a purpley red colour, it's really, really nice. I'm going to just finish that off and then go off camera and do the rest on the other 2 guys as well. Same thing on the other 2 guys. And then I'll come back to you. Then. Next I'm going to come with Eldari Emerald. It's my favourite contrast colour of all time. I really love it. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get the little arms and the little talons. And again, It doesn't matter if I catch some of the blue and the blue mixes with it, because it just gives you, I mean, if you look at your own hand or your own, parts of your own body, it's not going to be the same shade of that colour all the way through. If you looked at your hair, you'd see the same thing. There'd be different colours blending together to give you that nice, you know, you can be brunette, but it give you that same sort of, you'll have a brunette hair, but there'll be strands with that different colour. It's not totally different, but just slightly different. Probably just gibbering on now. I'm going to do all of the little tentacles with this. Okay, I'm going to go off camera and do the rest. So now I'm going to come with Drukari violet shade. I'm going to paint the brain. I'm going to paint all the carapace of the body part. I'm going to get these little spinal bits in there as well. I'm going to change to a smaller brush, I think, but that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to come back when I've done all of that. And now I'm going to come with some skeleton horde contrast paint. These guys are coming together very nicely, very quickly. You see the shade is still wet, but that doesn't matter. I'm going to come in with some skeleton horde, and we're going to get the teeth. That may look a bit weird now, but when it dries it'll be absolutely fantastic. Right, so for all intensive purposes, these guys are about ready. So my viewers now know what happens, but for everyone that's new, we take it beyond battle ready standard. So on my wet palette, I have some white scars, some Lothern blue, and some Screamer pink. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to start with Lothern blue, and I'm going to wet the brush down so I water it down even more. I'm going to come in, I'm going to get all the bits like this, around the edging. On this, like these little carapace at the back here, I'm just going to just tap it along. Now this is really watered down, so it's going to be really tiniest amount. Yeah, and I go off camera and do the rest of that. Well, so now I'm going to take some Screamer pink, my wet palette, and mix it with some white scars. It's give me a right, really pinky, like bright pink, not bright pink, but pinkish colour. Get a little bit of more water on it and mix it right up so it's really watery. And then what I'm going to do is, I'm going to come in and just gently highlight all of the fleshy areas to give me like a nice too much. So the aim is to try and get a little hue of pink on it. The side of the head and give it a nice little shade of pink. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to get some white scars on the dry brush, brush it onto a bit of tissue. I'm going to come in gently, dry brush, green. And get some of this over it as well, I will. This front colour paste. And don't worry, White Skies is a layer paint, so it will go on bright and then dull itself down. Only two more things to do on these guys afterwards. This one's still a little bit wet. As you can see in these brain bits. Let's try to get this side first. Right, so the next thing to do, I'm going to come in with some Nibbler Green. Now it's a dry paint, so those who've not seen a dry paint, this is what it looks like. It looks like, what the hell is this? But trust me, I should put some on the brush. It's very smooth going. I'm going to put some on the brush onto my bit of tissue. And this is what I'm going to dry brush. I don't want to get the whole of the arm, just the end of it, just the talon parts. You can see the arm, one side of it, there's the other side, so you can see where the green, this Nibbler Green really just shines off. I use it a lot when I'm painting Necrons to get the glow effect from their weapons. I'll make it on the chin of the man. It works really well with the old Ariana contrast paint. Someone's going to ask me, what type of dry brush is this? I've never seen one like this. This is a makeup brush. A cheap makeup brush from Pennies or Primark, whatever you want to call it. And just, I mean, that comes off as that's how worn it's been. But yeah, it's just a cheap makeup brush. Soft bristles. Right, so the last thing to do, and this is the very last thing, I'm going to take some White Scars from my wet palette. I'm going to come in and I'm just going to pick out a few little bits and pieces to just to add a little bit of white highlight to. So like a few bits like in his neck there, just a few little bits of bone sticking out. Some of the white crests on top of his head. Just to really make them pop off even more. What I'm going to do, I'm going to come through and just give his teeth a little dry brush. Not even a dry brush, just to make his mouth stand out a little bit more. Little bits like that, just. Why is it doing that? There we go. Just come in and just highlight it up a little bit, just to give it a. Now you could, once that white's dry, come back in with some more Drukhari Violet wash, do the same thing again, and just wash the brain down again. So do it again on this one to show you what I'm doing. This one might have a few different little bits I do. It doesn't have to be the same on each one. Right, these guys, I'm going to do the white on him afterwards. I'll just do it now. So these guys are done, ready for the table. If you enjoyed this video, helped you in any way, please subscribe to the channel, because it costs you absolutely nothing, but helps the channel in a massive, massive way. Turn your notifications on so you don't miss anything. And everyone smash the thumbs up button so it triggers YouTube to share this video to more and more people. Also want to do a shout out to everyone that voted, because, you know, I love it when I do a weekly Wednesday and you guys vote, and you know, it takes the painting choice away from me, which takes that a little bit of pressure off me. So it's always it's more for me as a challenge every week. Some paints take different. I'm not painting the same models all the time. Now these guys I've actually painted them very quickly, surprisingly, because I'm really getting the hang of using those contrast colours for my Tyranids and then just highlighting them up here and there. So guys, if you have any questions or comments about these guys, check on below. Bring you down, show you some pretty pictures. But until next time, thanks for watching. I'll see you then.